Maybe another point you want to go into further is decoding the cultural guru business, guru alarm bells, addressing modern hesitations. That's also important one. We need to address a little bit this cultural discomfort heads on by turning defensive reactions into these things with kind of analysis, analytical tools. So this was the cult idea versus discernment spectrum. In Tibet, they said that we need to analyze teachers for up to 12 years. In the modern world of instant gratification, 15-second TikTok wisdom. And why is this 12 years rule is radical? Where is the line between heavily skeptical and cynical closed-mindedness? This was a question about the concept of the Guru Yoga, right? Feels deeply uncomfortable, hierarchical, almost like a cult of personality, especially given recent scandals involving spiritual teachers. Even looking at the Lama Chopa trees, merit field, culturally alien and intimidated and very hierarchical. How can we, contemporary students, understand the true essence of Guru Yoga without feeling like they are sacrificing our independence or blindly worshipping a human being? As soon as we hear the Guru, like set off immediate alarm bells.
The Guru first is like like you said, a physical manifestation now in this world. So they are a human being with a life and actions and everything. And I think like when we're trying to combine in a non-dual sense, it's so much important, but often ends up going in one direction. So we can't only focus on what they did wrong, because even those gurus, self-identified gurus, are different than when many in their hearts have like worked through and come to it honestly and wholly to finding a teacher, lama, guru, is different than self-appointed. But everybody is human, and even some of those that they came to, some of their actions are inexcusable, but there are still threads of time where at that point, perhaps they were leading people, or they were what some people needed at that time in their path. For myself, that's how I make peace with when you read the historical stories or you read about the lamas and gurus who have done so many, really taken advantage of people and led with their egos. Within that framework is a huge amount of learning when you go back and look at it, of learning about our own human nature. So I find I have to turn it into a lesson in order to understand and not follow blindly, just to really question it.
The issue of guru is so huge. Of course, when we read stories about that we might identify with, like historical stories like Marpa, Milarepa, half the story is the person on the adventure, on the journey, trying to find the guru and the whole path and the purification. And then when they reach the guru, there's maybe powerful interactions, maybe concepts are broken, maybe more challenges. They thought the suffering would end, but now the suffering is harder because now you're training, and before you're just trying to find the path. Now you're on the path. So there's so many stages there. And then Lama Chopa seems like it's just such a special opportunity to purify and accumulate merit. And then I think finally, it almost seems like the yidams are more exciting. You're like, wow, all of these heads, arms, colors, power, mantras, whatever. And then guru, just seems so simple. A person, maybe not as exciting, but maybe it's closer. And the guru brings you closer to ultimately the enlightened mind is within you, your Buddha nature. So you're getting closer to the guru, you're getting closer to your own self. So maybe as you get close to the guru, maybe right as you get the closest to the guru, boom, you find your own self. Then you're set free in your own Buddha nature. Historical people, anything with people, organizations, there's limitations of time and space, and all of history unfolds. I think it being a quest to find the inner guru, the inner Buddha nature, is more of a clear path than, say, trying to actually just find a person, maybe.
How do you not get entangled in the guru's personality? Like as Prabhupada was saying, like gurus are still humans with a human expression? How do you not get entangled in the guru's personality and focus on the mirror being held up to you, as you were saying?
Of course, Guru is a human being, right? Actually, on purpose. Without human being a human, we cannot relate. I'm talking about my own experience. I have many gurus, but my root teacher, he as a human being, there are lots of things. But then, see, again, he's reflecting, holding the mirror for me. In terms of this yoga, the idea of yoga, Guru Yoga, we want to unify our mind. It's not the hierarchical things, Guru up there, up somewhere, high up. And then we expect Guru has we here. So, but the yoga is a union, not about obeying or subverting our intelligence to human personality, not about that. Uniting my own current ordinary mind, which really need help, with the enlightened mind of the lineage, which Guru carried through authentically, unbrokenly. This is a practice called Guru Yoga. We need to decode the cultural gap. In one sense, this is like a revolutionary technology, psychological tool. Don't you think we need that sort of tool, like a mechanism? We need to purify our mind, accumulating merit and receive blessing. Yeah, I don't know. Personality. It's good to have a lot of different personality as well, but that's not the focus, right? Our focus is to unite our own mind with his or her enlightened mind. I know this is not convincing. We have to struggle a little bit, especially at the beginning. Guru Yoga is something, it's grow over time as we practice more, as we can feel the heart start really affecting, like a chanting, meditating, practicing. Yeah, beautiful practice. I feel so fortunate to encounter this kind of practice. Yeah, this idea of surrendering. We are not surrendering to a personality, right? Of course not. And we are surrendering our own neurosis, but habit and small-minded views. In other words, egos, surrendering the ego, but not discerning wisdom, for example. We want to surrender. Don't you think it feels so good to just let go of our own, you can say, the personal autonomy? It has been running a show for a long time, but once in this lifetime, something helps me to let go, surrendering my own habitual patterns and the neurosis. And the human beings, right? Human beings learn best from human beings, human examples. Just painted Buddha somewhere out there. It's difficult to learn from, maybe intellectually.
Andrella, what would you say to people who try to have this is often happens, I think, in a lot of traditions, but a non-living guru, like they say, well, obviously even in the Guru Yoga, you're Lama Chopa, you're visualizing Tsongkhapa, Shakyamuni, Vajrayāna, essentially, all three in one. They say, I don't need a guru. Tsongkhapa is my guru. And I can just read the Lamrim and that's it. What would your answer be?
Then guru, right? Guru is over those three things. Guru means human teacher, your teachers. First of all, Lama Chopa is based on the highest yoga tantra, which means somebody who received the empowerment of highest yoga tantra from human teachers, root teacher, who carried all the lineage masters' blessings. Lama Chopa merit field, everything is the reflection, manifestation of awakened mind, my guru's mind. What do you think? Because I never thought about you don't need a guru. Of course, I talked about this, right? His Holiness was asked, do you need a guru? And he said no. Technically speaking, no. But then, of course, Guru accelerated this process. The whole point of tantric practice is accelerate this journey. We want to complete or unveil our true nature as soon as possible. That's why it's called the swift path. Guru's role is crucial on this journey. even this first initial Lama Chopa and first come to Guru, I take refuge in the Guru, then I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. So without Guru, there's no three jewels. Before Guru, there's no three. That's the beginning of the Lama Chopa. Rakar ge sen chen bo ngani ne datang kanyama ge semu chen na Tene chi shi chan chu nim po pa Lama kunjo sumura kya sudo Namo Guru Vya Namo Buddhaya Namo Dharmaya Namo Sanghaya. So that's how it begins. Then go through this Lama Chopa, then the last part is a dissolution. Deep dive into dissolution, experiential, psychological, spiritual, you can say the mechanics. That's the idea, moving from the abstract visualization to the felt psychological reality. So then we rest there, connecting the transformation. Yeah, I want you to experience it, then so that the juice of core or heart of the Lama Chopa. Union of bliss and emptiness, union of Guru, union of appearance and emptiness. So this subject-object dualism we live in. So this mechanic or this technology of Guru Yoga allows us to unify.